Good evening, everybody. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you are on the Lifeboat. What's happening? It is Sunday night here on the boat, and we are coming to you live in high definition. You know what, people? We might get us a small little meeting tonight. The AA run is live right now, which is, you know what? It's a good thing. Every once in a while, it's nice if we can. The chat slows down a little bit, right? We can get a little bit more back and forth. It's a little bit, it's more of a family affair. Charlie Mullins, good to see you. Miss V, love you. Noise Opera, good to see you. Nick, Z-Dub, always a pleasure. Sandy Wendy, good to see you. Henny, always great to see you. Christy's here. Valerie, Moni, Dixie 504. Let's see, who am I missing? Did I miss anybody? If I did, I am so sorry. It is an honor to have you here on the boat. 7th, there you are. It's an honor to have you on the boat. Hello, A. Kenneth. Hello, Lauren T. You know what? We're going to talk about some stuff that we were talking about this morning. Because you know what, people? It's pretty damn important. And I got feedback today. Hello, Russ Hampton. Good to see you, my brother. Russ is going to be on with me at the next shift. Cedar Scoville, my lovely daughter. Good to see you. See that? How often does she actually approach from the correct side of the camera? Well played. Very often, Cedar calls in the middle of my regularly scheduled programming. In spite of the fact that I go live at the same time every single day. I'm kidding. I love my daughter. I answer the phone anyway. Never a problem. But we started talking this morning about mental health and the stigma that is attached to it. And you know what? A funny thing happened. I said in my opening, you know what? I'm Tommy, and I'm being treated for mental illness. You know, I have mental health treatments that I do, and I have a full-pronged approach. I have counselors, I have therapists, I take medication, and I do a grip of outreach and group therapy. I work with a lot of people, and there are things that I'm doing just about every minute of every day to try to move forward myself as a person and the mission here on the boat. And it was really funny, people, because I've said this 1,000 times. So if you're new to the boat, you know what? You're probably hearing this for the 5th time. Miss V's hearing it for the 10,000th. But when I started this channel, I wanted to make some videos. I had no idea the direction that this boat was going to go in. I didn't at all. That's not talking. It really isn't. I didn't have a name for this channel. I didn't have a direction for this channel. And you guys named it The Boat. And you helped take this thing where it was supposed to go. And I've had a really cool seat. But the longer I'm in this seat, I realize things and I learn things. And one of the things that I am learning is that we're all in the same boat. And if that sounds funny, it's because that's the reason we got named the Lifeboat in the first place. But I was talking about gambling, and I was talking about porn, and I was talking about all of these different things that to me make sense because they're just like being a drug addict, right? That makes sense to me. I get it. I get it. You got $500 down and a dog is running around the track and that race is going to be over in 26 seconds, and you got $300 on the line, and it could pay off you a bunch, and that adrenaline, I get it. I understand it, right? So if somebody came in and said, well, my addiction is gambling, I say, hey, we're all in the same boat. But if somebody had showed up and said, I'm anorexic, or I was anorexic, I would have gone, I think you got the wrong boat, right? I think you got the wrong boat. Here's what we do here. And I would have been dead off, right? I would have been so far off. But once again, I'm learning as I go, people. I'm learning on the fly. I really am. But I started to talk to normies. And you know what I found out? There aren't any normies. If you caught the show we did this morning, it was great. And I'm not picking on anybody. I'm not. Because this was in the open and it was there. But somebody came on and said, you know what? I love this channel and I don't have an addiction. I've never been addicted to anything. Right? I don't have any problems. I don't have any relatives that have any problems. I'm just here because I dig it. And then about 2 minutes later, the person wrote, oh, shit, I'm addicted to nicotine. But in that person's head, it's different, right? Okay, all of these things are symptoms. Now, am I here to tell you there's symptoms in mental health, problems? Yeah, you betcha. Addiction is a mental health issue. If you don't think so, then you're missing it. Yeah. You know what, people, you're going to find something. My offspring, of the three of us, myself, my daughter, and my son, I am by far the slowest of the three Scovilles. My daughter is considerably sharper than I am, as is my son, and it's great because they're starting to help Dad and bring in some computer skills and some things that I seriously lack. But I love this comment. A lot of mental health conditions are made worse due to the addiction and to control of it. There are so many people self-medicating out there today, right? And I'm talking to a grip of them. I don't mean like out in the world. I'm talking about people right on the Lifeboat. Are thousands of you who are self-medicating. I'm not mad at any of you, by the way. I'm self-medicating. You're going, damn, what? No, I'm self-medicating. We talked about it. I have been trying to get something that can let me go to sleep without having nightmares that Cedar's getting attacked, or that a family member or somebody on the boat or anybody else is getting attacked, right? So I was open and I started to reach out to all these different people, and I read everything I could read. And right now I am taking a over-the-counter THC gummy. And it has two different, one of them is a live active culture or something. There's two different things it's made to knock you out and send you to sleep. I go to sleep. I do not have the nightmares. It's been absolutely beautiful. I'm so sorry, Valerie. Valerie says, been having a really hard time lately with nightmares and people at my job humiliating me. Last night, I filmed a short vlog and posted my first vid. I made it private after 2 hours. Still, maybe one day. Hey, that's how it starts, right? And I'll tell you what, if you're nervous about making your first video, right, this is just a public service announcement. You're nervous more often than not because you're afraid some jerk's going to say something stupid. And you know what? It doesn't take a whole lot of trolling in the beginning to really set somebody off. If somebody trolls me now and I go, you know what? 75 people told me they love the show. One guy told me I was a piece of crap. Who cares, right? It's a troll. But that's hard when you get 30 views or 20 views or 10 views or 5 views. So turn the comments off in the beginning. Make that thing. Make it and turn the comments off. People will see it. You will know what they think. But it will get you used to the concept of it. And video blogs, you can make them and make them private. But something about communicating and doing it this way and using our hands, right? That's different. It is. It's different. Journaling's great, and it's using a lot of the different parts of your brain when you journal. But when you talk into something and you're gesturing and you're looking, and chances are if you've got a setup at all, you're seeing yourself, right? And that's probably causing you to act a specific kind of way. I hate my nose. Hold on, people. I took an antihistamine. And I don't know what kind of histamine it is anti of, but certainly not the type that has anything to do with stopping your nose from running. It's been absolutely horrible. It is a combination. Thank you. That is correct, Snotface. It is CBD and CBN. That's what it is. And it's 10 to 200 or something like that, I think is the ratio. But it puts you right to sleep. It is an indica strain. It is not a sativa strain. So it doesn't get your mind going. It puts your mind to sleep. One for Dennis. Hey, of course, there's no shame whatsoever. That's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fact that this morning, when I came in here, I said, I've been diagnosed with adult ADHD. That is a diagnosis that I have been diagnosed with. I have been diagnosed with depression. There are a laundry list, depending on which prison I was at, different things. People, I ate today, first day in 12 days. Congratulations, Dennis. That is worthy of, that's what I'm talking about, right? Dennis, you're going to find, as everyone will say, and it's not a cliche. I'm sorry, it's the truth. But when you start getting a little grub in you, you start getting some food in you, you start getting a little connection. We start to right. And this holiday season, people, right? Social media can be something. This holiday, we can do something with social media. I'll be really honest with you, people. Aaron is doing a live video right now. So as a content creator, I could have said, you know what? I'm going to hold off until his video's over because we'll get 2,000 people that are looking for the next thing to watch. And now would be a really good time to probably talk about the Church of Scientology. And I'll tell you why, right? Because the numbers kind of do this one. And when they start to dive, if I do something salacious, right, and I go for views and I talk about the Church of Scientology, we can get 16,000 views on this puppy. And a lot of people did today. A lot of people to put up a lot more content about that controversy. You know what, people? This is the holiday season, and I'm worried about everybody on the boat. And for a split second, I thought about it. And then I thought, what are you doing, man? This isn't about views. It's never been about views. It's never been about views. I almost got caught up in it. I almost did. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think that's human nature. It's nice to see those big fat numbers because they translate to people. But you know what? Those people are going into the holiday season. And the holiday season sucks for us. It does. Under the best of circumstances, it is hard for us. And it's harder because the people around don't understand that. I'm getting emails from you guys every single day that say, I'm going to be with my family and I'm the only addict in the family. Well, then there's nobody there that's going to understand you. There's not. They can love you. They can care for you. They can be kind. They can be kind to a fault, but do not ask them to understand you. It is like trying to teach a fish to ride a bike, right? It's going to piss off the fish and it's going to waste your time. They're not going to understand. And when you say the ununderstandable, the unexplainable, that which cannot be justified. I got out of prison and I did heroin again. That which cannot be justified. But an addict will understand exactly why I did it. I won't need to explain it. They'll understand why I did the unexplainable. That's why group works. You understand? So this holiday season, the people that are hurting, who are on the fringe and on the periphery, those people that are hurting, they just need to connect with us, one another, because we won't need to spend 45 minutes on the phone trying to understand that which cannot be understood. They can say, I'm hurting and I'm thinking of using today, and we can go, oh, okay. What's up? Right? Not what? How is that even possible? I mean, you've been sober 11 years. How is it possible that you could even think of doing something that's stupid? Look at where that helps, doesn't it? That helps. We train ourselves, people. We train ourselves. We do that with people who don't understand, and our brain goes, you know what? I'm not talking to anybody about this crap anymore, man. Screw that. So I can be told I'm weak. So I can be told I'm stupid. So that I can be told that what I do makes absolutely no sense. Right? You're illogical. You're weak. And then, more than likely, this happens all the time. And I know this not from me, honestly, but I know this from you guys. You're going to hear that you have a relative. It's an uncle. It's a grandfather. It's a great-grandfather. It's somebody who was really bad off on substance abuse. And you're going to get compared to that person. People send me emails every day that say that their loved ones do that. You understand they don't know better, right? They don't know better. They don't know that this is a disease. They think it's bad behavior. And you know what? The scary crap is we've known it was a disease for about 50 years. You know how much headway we've made with the general population? You're looking at it. Honestly, there's just not a lot of people out there screaming, hey, man, this is a disease. Right? And we're all in the same boat. Uncured mental illness can look just like a drug addict. It really can. Untreated mental illness can look like a drug addiction because you got chemicals firing in your brain doing things they're not supposed to do. What do you think drug abuse is? It's causing the chemicals in your brain to do things that they're not supposed to do. That's why so often police officers and people and social workers get in situations and they see somebody freaking out on the street, and what's the first thing they think? that person's whacked out on dope. They're whacked out on drugs. Looks like PCP. They're screaming at the top of their lungs. And the next thing you know, some guy who needed a pill is laying dead in the street. Because if it's drugs, well, we know drug addicts are a piece of shit, right? They're not worth anything. You can shoot a drug addict. It's justified, right? It's a drug addict. It's a throwaway person. So often, the reason the cops got called, so often the reason that the digits 9, 1, and 1 got called is because somebody there is suffering from mental illness. Joni, you rock. I love you. Thank you so much. Joni just gifted 5 Lifeboat memberships. I love that, man. I love that. It's just such a great community you people have built, man. It's such a great community. It really is. Thank you, Joni. But I'm telling you right now, people, that mental illness and the brand of mental illness we call drug addiction, which is a disease, right? These things get treated like leprosy. And if it's gonna be, then it's up to me. And I'm not talking about me. Every single person in here has to say the same thing. If it's gonna be, it's up to me. The people in my sphere of influence, I'm not going to let go down, right? By the way, people, if I'm not more interactive in the chat these days, I apologize. I have shrunk down the size of the chat to the smallest it possibly can be. Since I have done that, I have gotten comments from people that said this is the best content you've put out in a long time. I love interacting with you. Because of the number of people in the chat and the speed at which it goes, I'm saving it for specific times where I then blow it back up. And by doing that, I can stay on topic a little bit more, and the only squirrel in the room will be that one, right? And that will be a good thing. But that's why, if you feel like I'm ignoring you or if you've been talking to me, I apologize. I'm not looking at the chat. It's by design. It kind of has to be that way, people. When we get this many people in the chat, you get trolls who don't look like any other kind of trolls, right? There are people who come in and they ask really fantastic questions with no other goal in mind than to just shortchange what you do. I mean, just to try to take things off track. We're going to get through these things because this season, this message is going to get hammered out. It is. And you know what? I'm going to lose some views. It's not a popular subject. It's not. This is not, you know what's popular? I come out and talk about true crime. We'll do a bunch of, and I'll do them during the off hours. I'm going to keep the boat growing. I'll do my part. But at the 5s, we're going to talk about the reasons that people end up putting needles in their arms. We're going to talk about the reason that people break the law, right? And do the dumbest things in the world. And I only know of 2 reasons. And one is drugs and the other is mental illness, people. And I work with a lot of people. Yesterday, somebody that I know and love yesterday did something that is so out of character. Somebody did something that you wouldn't do in your right mind. No one in their right mind would do this. And it's sad, people, to watch this holiday season. Thank you, Snot Face. Appreciate you, hun. I'm not mean. That's the woman's avatar name. And Snot's one of my favorite people, so I can call her Snot Face. Thank you, Snot. Really appreciate the generosity from everybody this holiday season. I want to tell you something. Generosity of the spirit is going to be huge, man. I promise you. I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna give you all a bow, right? And I'll probably cry. But I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna give you guys a bow and I'm gonna clap and I'm gonna thank you. Because I'm gonna tell you some stuff. Prison is a petri dish. Right? It's a petri dish for emotions. You take every emotion that you have in the real world and you multiply it by 30. What I mean by that is, if you think your mate's cheating on you, it could drive you crazy, right? If you think your mate is cheating on you and you're locked up on one side of the wall and your mate's on the other, what it will do to the person that is incarcerated, right? They used to call the phones, they used to call them stress boxes, especially around the holidays. Man, don't call home. It's just going to stress you out. And in prison lore, the guy who's at home hanging out with your girl while you're gone is always called Sancho. And guys make jokes. You know, you're making a phone call and you slam the phone down, someone to go, what, Sancho answer? And that happens. The number of times those stories happen that you hear of a guy who calls home on Christmas and somebody answers the phone with a real deep voice. And the guy hears his kids calling that dude dad. And then they go in their cells and they make a noose and they remove themselves from this planet. I did 13 years in prison. In the holiday season, I saw 5 years that somebody unalived themselves in my unit. Not on the prison. I'm sure that happened every year. But in my unit, 5 times, somebody unalived themselves at Christmas time. And it's overwhelming. This season is overwhelming. And you know what? Inside, they have a program. The program is called My Brother's Keeper. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You go into a cell and you go, hey, Jack, you doing all right, bro? Ain't made it down to the poker table in 2 days. You sick? What's going on? Come on, let's go out to the yard. Let's walk a couple laps. It's sunny as hell. Come on, get up. Put your shoes on. We're going to walk some laps. No, dude, I'm not in the mood. I don't care what you're in the mood, man. Get your shoes on. I'm telling you, come on, we're going to go outside. We're going to spin some laps. My brother's keeper. I want to see somebody else crudely fashion a noose, right? One of the guys who did it in Phoenix, and he tied the door shut, right? In a system that they call spider webbing. There's a handle on the door, right? But it opens out. So this guy tied sheets that he had ripped and braided, and he tied those sheets directly to the bed that was bolted to the floor. They couldn't get the door open. They had to cut the hinges off with a torch. This man did not want anybody saving him. And his story was, for 9 years, his wife said, can't wait for you to get home, baby, I love you. Can't wait for you to get home, baby, I love you. And this was his last Christmas incarcerated. He should have been going home about 4 weeks later. Right? Be home for February, basically. But he called home and she said, baby, I moved in so-and-so about the 3rd week you were in prison. I don't want you to come home. Whole time just wrote to him steady, lying to him the entire time because I guess it was easier than at the time just telling him the truth. But she ran out of days to lie, and she told him the truth, and he went and put on his MP3 player and sat on the top bunk, tied himself to the bars behind him, and leaned forward. And the unit was shut down and locked down, and they had to bring in a cutting torch. This was a show. This was something that reminded you of what had happened for an entire damn day. Tiff, thank you so much. I will be live with Joni Christmas Day. Come join us. Don't be alone. Put a link up. We'd love that. I'm going to be live Christmas Day as well. I know a lot of people are going to. It's the right thing to do. We're going to be reaching out. We're going to make sure that people aren't alone, even if they're alone. Martha Simmons says, Tommy, the guy in prison we're mentoring didn't call this week. We are concerned. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that you are absolutely concerned. It does go both ways, to be sure. In fact, sometimes it's harder for the people on the street. And there are guys in there that there are people in there that sadly take advantage of that with their spouses and whatever. The person you're mentoring, though, this time of year, because fights happen often, if a fight happens anywhere, they're locking the whole place down, and then people can't get to phones. So the holiday season, this is another thing that adds to the stress of the inmate's life, is that one guy acts like a jerk and you can't talk to your kids. Or one guy acts like a jerk. It's called corporal punishment, and it's been practiced in the Bureau of Prisons forever. 2 guys get in a fight in the day room. They beat the crap out of each other. They send them to the hole. They're gone. They're never coming back to that yard. Then what do? They lock the whole yard down for a week. The guys that did the fighting are gone. Why the hell are we locking the yard down? So that we will begin to beat up people who cause problems in the day room before it happens. They want us to become the cops and start policing each other. That's how that works. And it works. This is why you got to go get permission to get in a fist fight. This is why you got to go to the shot caller and say, all right, look, I currently got a beef with Peppers in Kentucky living. Could we catch a cell? Do we have permission? And the shot caller, in his infinite wisdom, will say, nah, you guys are friends. Go work it out. Ain't going to be any fighting. Sorry. Need permission. It's insanity, isn't it? Tonight on Live Yard with Night Yard with Russ, two kindest convicts to ever walk a prison yard are going to be answering all of your prison questions. So if you had a question that you always wanted to ask, think about it. You got about 20 some odd minutes, and we're going to be firing this baby back up. I hope people are getting what I'm putting down, right? For real. I'm not trying to sound like a nut. I just know what is capable. Honestly, I know that it doesn't take much. If you've been on the boat to the Miss V's, the Charlie Mullins, right? The Leisure Beasts, the people that have been here a really, really long time, I will apologize in advance for telling this story for the 1,000th time. But it is appropriate to this time of year. I believe in God. So when I was in prison, you get a banquet. If you believe in anything, by the way, you could be a Satanist. You could believe in Festivus. And you will still get a Festivus feast, right? Basically, whatever religion that is approved by the BOP, and they're pretty much all approved, except maybe Festivus, because of the area grievances, that might not be allowed. However, most other religions are. So we got a feast, and we were down for our feast, and because we all believe in the same God in this room, then blacks and whites can sit at the same table, right? Nobody cares. And the outside world can't see it. It's just your group. The rest of the guys can't walk by, so guys can let their hair down. And whites and blacks will sit at the same table, and it's the only time you're ever going to see it. So I sat down, and I was eating with a friend of mine, and a black gentleman walked up and said, "Can I sit down real quick?" We said, "Sure, you can eat here." He goes, "No, I got a table over here. I just want to talk to you real quick." And I'm looking at me and my two friends because I don't know who he's talking to, right? I don't know the guy. But he sits down and he says, "I just wanted to tell you that what you said to me in the kitchen when you and I were talking has completely changed my life." He said, "I know it was probably just a 10-minute talk to you," he said, "but that day, everything changed." He said, "And my life has not been the same." He said, "I can't tell you everything that's happened in my life, and I just don't know how to thank you." And I said, "Well, you don't have to, man." I said, "You're good day for it, right? Thank God." And yeah, this is for leisure. I said, "It's a good day for it. You can thank God." He goes, "Yeah, well, and I want to thank you too." And then he gave me a hug. And he walked off. And it was beautiful. And my friend Turtle said, "What did you tell him?" And I said, "Man, I don't know who the hell he is. I have no idea who that guy is. I have no memory of ever speaking to this dude in my life." But he talked about my office like he wasn't confusing me and somebody else. And I'm a pretty big bald dude. And at the time, I had a goatee down to here. I have no idea what I said to him. I don't even know what the damn subject matter is because I didn't do stuff like this when I was in the kitchen. I didn't do anything like this. But the point of the matter is, you could say 3 sentences to the right person at the right time and a light bulb is going to go ding. Right? There are people out there, I promise you right now, that are saying, so-and-so said this in chat. If I had the time, every time somebody said to me, "Boy, you know what? So-and-so said this in chat." If the world was appropriate, right? I'd have a staff of 60. And I would say, "Hey, reach out to Noise Opera and tell him that the comment he made the other day, send him a screenshot of what this person just said." Because this happens every day. And the great part is, right, I get all the credit for it. It's almost embarrassing. But people will tell me, "Hey, I started this channel, people. I did. And I put a lot of effort in. I'm here a lot. I put in a lot of time. And I'm working hard to build this." But what makes this great is all of the names going up here in the chat. I promise you, what makes us unique is that everybody here truly does care about everybody else. Everybody here very much would like to see the holiday season come and go without me putting on a tie. If you're new to the boat, I only put on ties when we lose people. And sadly, there are a lot of shows of me wearing ties. How about we just really don't let that happen this season, huh? Yeah, Sarah Matthews. Man, I love that comment. Thank you, Nacho's mom. And Sarah Matthews is a great comment. This is it right here, man. 10 minutes, right? Saves a life. She said it earlier. 10 minutes, man. Take 10 minutes a day. That's 2 people you could knock out. Hey, very sad. Please do me a favor. Please do me a favor, everybody. Can you do me a favor? Can we let you know, right? If you leave here and you go over to Facebook, right? I know I hate Facebook. Spare me. Go over there. There is a group, a Facebook group page. You have to ask to be accepted into it. If you go over there and you say, you know what? This is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling. Those 2 words can spark an avalanche of people that want to say, hey, I love you. I'm praying for you. I'm here for you. A 1 for Kim Milan. I like it. I like it. 1s are thoughts and prayers, positive energy, however you want to do it, people. It's our way of saying, I'm here for you in what I believe affects things in a positive way. Martha, we're grateful that you are here. We really are. It's, I'm telling you, people, it sounds hokey. If I heard another content creator say it, I would think it sounds hokey. But every person that comes here brings such a unique set of experiences with them that are so similar in every way and so different and so unique in every way. And to have all of that gives everybody here a chance that somebody literally knows exactly what you're going through. And unlike other places, everybody here very much wants to get involved. Everybody here very much wants to say, I'm here for you. I've got your back. I'd like to help you. Tommy Bird, my brother. Good to see you, Tommy. Pookie. Hear this, people? Pay very close attention to this comment. This is real. This is a reality right here. The best day of my life was when my diagnosis got a name. It made things not nearly so scary to have something with a name, a treatment, and a hope for getting better. All right, people. I've said this before. When I was in prison, they diagnosed me with a dead spot on my brain from having too many concussions. They call it cerebral infarction. When it's all over and I get dissected, they're going to call it chronic traumatic encephalopathy. The same thing that those football players get. And it's not a great thing. It's not a diagnosis that you'd like to get because those players don't end well. Now, I instantly started doing exactly what they told me to do, right? You're done looking at movies, right? You're going to read books for entertainment. You're not going to watch television. If you watch TV, it has to be something that stimulates your mind. You can't don't watch movies, it has to be something that's engaging, preferably one camera, right? So that there's no zipping back and forth. It changed everything. It really did. On top of that, I had, so many other diagnoses, but that one, for the first time to me, seemed so far out of my control, right? But it was great because I learned dialectic behavioral training, right? If this person's right, then this is going to happen to me. And you know what? I'm still going to get up. I'm still going to get going. It's heavy. It really is. It's heavy. But I sit down with a doctor who says to me, are you familiar with Junior Seau? I said, yeah, he took his own life. He unalived himself. He was a football player, lovable guy. And he said he did. And he talked to me a little bit about the traumatic brain injury and this and that. But for the first time in my life, I'm sitting there thinking, some of the really stupid things that I've done in my life were a little bit easier to explain. You know what I mean? Like, robbing a bank is stupid. Robbing a bunch of them, right, is really stupid. But you start to get damage in the parts of my brain that I'm damaged in, and it means that my decision making isn't going to be the way it used to be. It changes. There's no getting around that. So I need to change, right? I need to change. I can't make snap decisions. Everything I do, I have to sit and think about. And I have to sit down and write out what the possible outcomes of this decision are going to be. Positive, negative, right? Do the Ben Franklin close on myself. And it means spending a lot more time with pen to paper. It means that I'm going to lose track of a lot more things in my life. That's reality. That's the way it is. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not what I used to be. I'm not as good at any of it. You know, we slip. I forget things. You'll hear me these days say things like, I have no idea what I was just talking about. And that's not something that happened to me too often, but it's the reality. But knowing that there was a name for what was going on with me, knowing that this has, in many other people, caused criminal behavior, caused lack of inhibition, and caused people to engage in risk-taking behavior, breaking laws, right? It's not unique to me at all. Like, this happens to a lot of people whose brains get damaged in the same place. That brought me peace, right? Because you're sitting there going, how do I get out and go back and do the same stuff again? How do I go back and how do I make a decision to rob a bank in the first place? How do I make a decision to, how do I? Right? Yeah, I believe you. The best day of your life was the day of that diagnosis. I became very much at peace when I could admit that I wasn't perfect, that I was built. You and me both, V. You and me both. If I go in a room, my brain gets erased as soon as I walk through the door frame. It's like a magic mind eraser. I walk through and I'm like, why the hell did I come in this room? Why did I come in this room? But it's all right. It really is. It's okay. All of us are going to slip a little. I'm going to slip a little bit more than everybody else. I'm going to get a lot of content in between now and then, right? I am. I'm going to have a very good time. I'm going to try to help as many people as I possibly can. And I'm going to promote channels that are doing great things. Miss Dragon, if we could put your link up there, and if we could get the link also over to Need a Meeting, if we could get the link for those channels up there, please. It's an excellent point. Excellent point. Thank you so much. My mother-in-law was a psychiatrist in prison. She said that so many men were in prison because of concussions and traumatic brain injuries that affect decision-making. Throw alcohol, right, or drugs or heroin on top of that. Desperation. You get somebody who's addicted to drugs and is desperate, and the part of the brain that deals with higher function and making those kind of decisions, and the part of your brain that goes, no, it's a bad idea to go into a bank and tell them you want all the money, right? That part of your brain that is greatly damaged lowers inhibitions. And the guys with traumatic brain injuries are in trouble. They're in trouble. And it doesn't give us I don't get a free pass, people. I'm not asking for one. Has nothing to do with why I did what I did, I promise you. But it helps me to understand I made bad decisions. That's on me. But I wasn't working with the best equipment in the world. knowing that. It's kind of like having a tire that you had to fix with Fix-A-Flat, right? We're going to get home. We might not go 90, right? And if this tire blows, we're going to put a donut on it. And we might get home, but we're not even going to go 50, right? We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Thank you. I got great mods. I really do. I got great mods. What a group. And you know, they come here and they do this for free. They put in a lot of time. Being a mod here is like a full-time job, people. I put up a lot of content. I love my mods. I really do. They descend on people who come into chat and they welcome them. And the shout out to the two master moderators that I've got over on the Facebook group page who take care of that. I don't look at that thing. Alan Ballantyne, God bless him, and Lady Crispin. I do not have to deal with any of that. I just go over there when I want to put up an announcement, and it's great because in the perfect world when Mark and I discussed it, we didn't think there'd ever be as many people as there are. God, it's huge now. But when we first discussed it, we said, you know what? What if we do a really bad show? What if I come out and I say something just stupid? Or if I say something that seems so off base that people are like, you think Tommy was drunk last night? There needs to be a place that people can go out of the public eye and say, hey, man, Tommy's not as good as he used to be, isn't he? Without being really worried that I'm over there reading every comment. I don't go over there. I kind of leave it alone like a safe harbor. Mark and I decided pretty early on that we weren't going to go and read a ton of stuff over there. The exception would be when we go over and we put something up. But we don't do that very often. We try to let that stay over there. Our moderators there are fantastic and they keep things really going pretty smooth. Christy Caldwell says, I'm learning how important mods are. Good ones are so special. Thank you for all you do on this channel. You're doing an amazing job. You all really are. Big shout out to the mods here on the Lifeboat, the top shelf. And again, you know, there are channels where if you're a mod, you might have to go live once a week, and then there are channels where, you know, if you're a mod at my place or Aaron's or you know, we just put up a lot of content, and I don't put up short form, people, right? That's funny too. When we started this channel, everybody and their brother said, YouTube doesn't push long form content. You're wasting your time. And we said, we're not too concerned about any of that. We're trying to help people get better. And now, no lie, the Lifeboat throws about 15 ads a day of companies that say, hey, would you be interested in partnering up? We're going to pick somebody to partner up with. We're going to sell out, people. But we're going to sell out for a lot. And when we do, it's going to be to the benefit of a lot of people. I want Quick MD. I want something like that. You know, we're not going to do anything that's cheesy. I promise. We're going to, but the fact that there are this many people who are watching long form content to the very end says an awful lot, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but not to be disrespectful to anybody else, but we're the people that should be maybe a little less attention span than the next group, right? We did a lot of drugs, we abused ourselves, we got concussions and done all of those things, and yet we seem to be able to keep our attention span a little longer than the rest of the people on the big red button. So proud of you, every last one of you. I've always said that the crew of the Lifeboat are some of the smartest people that I have ever met on God's green earth. And sure, it's shameless buttering up, right? But it's good shameless buttering up, you got to admit. So I don't want anybody to forget that I am going to be going live with Russ to do Nightboat. Nightboat vodka damage. Yep. Nightboat is anything you want to ask about prison. We do. The two of us answer it, and it gives you kind of a state prison perspective. versus a federal prison perspective? Yeah, wait a second. Oh no, you belong. You absolutely belong, Zelda, right where you're at. I promise you this. If you're looking around and you're going, boy, it's kind of amazing how everybody here treats one another, that's a damn good sign that you're probably pretty close to home. You're probably pretty close to where you are supposed to be. I've had people send emails today. I must have answered 5 of them. People that said, I'm never really comfortable any place I go. I always feel like I'm a little out of place. I never feel like I belong. I said, well, you do now. Holy hell. Stroll around the grounds until you feel at home. I promise you, you will feel at home, right? Stroll around the grounds. Everybody belongs here if they choose to stay. It's amazing how fast you start looking out and going, I swear to you, I couldn't tell you when this person got here, but I feel like they've been on the boat forever. It's amazing how fast that happens. Anik Alexander says, hello, Anik. Good to see you, hon. Says, Tommy, can you explain Quick MD again? I heard you mention it, but I can't remember exactly what it is. Okay, yeah. Quick MD is an app that allows people to get to talk to healthcare professionals through your phone. Laws vary from state to state. However, the vast majority of states in the United States have passed laws that will allow places like Quick MD or meetings. There's a couple of different ones now that do this, but they prescribe Suboxone through a phone. You see a doctor, you look at them, but it is for Suboxone, and it's for. I mean, you can do it for just about anything, right? It just depends on what you need to see a doctor for, but there's a big emphasis on mental health and particular trying to get people off of opioids. Yeah. And it's an app. It's easy to... hello, Debbie. Good to see you. It's super easy to download. It's a super easy app to use. I was able to do it without help. Should tell you a lot. Awkward is normal for us. Holy crap, right? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. It's why we tend to feel comfortable in other places where people don't, right? I mean, I am one of those guys that I promise you, like you take me to a bad part of a city and I can have a conversation with any person there. And it's not because it's because I understand everything that's going on in that part of the city. I used to be in the thick of it. And the people that live there just want a good life like everybody else. But we tend to get it's dangerous in there. That means everybody in there is bad. That means that we get these, I got to tell you a story, people, before I wrap this puppy up, because we're going to end this one just a little before normal so that I can have a minute to navage before I do the night yard. I don't want to be doing the live. I've been there and done that. But sorry. Yeah, I am going to. I'm sorry, Dixie. Can we get some prayers for Dixie, please? Yeah, some thoughts and prayers, please, please for Dixie. It's really important, people. It is really important to me that this holiday season, truthfully, becomes something that we talk about next year and the year after. It becomes a tradition that we're going to step up our game. We're going to guard one another. We're going to be each other's keepers. We're a peer support group. You get it? That's what we do. We're peer support. Dixie, I too am sorry for the loss of your brother. It's just got to be so hard. I can't imagine it. I can't. But I can tell you I'll be here for this holiday season, and I'm going to be putting content up. You're not going to get up and go, why didn't the Lifeboat do a show today? That's not going to happen. I may take a few days off early November. People tend to really relax in early November, right? They really do. People seem to really relax. November the 2nd has a completely different change in attitude, and everybody just gets a little bit more zen. Speaking of which, Z-Dub, thank you so much. The 24/7 feed will happen. I swear to you it will. It's a logistics thing. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're not far off. The Lifeboat, look, see that silver play button behind me? I think that took Johnny 6 years, right? Which is pretty quick to a silver play button. That's impressive. We're on path to do it in about a year and a half. That's insane. It's absolutely insane. But you have my word that the mission of this boat is never going to change. It's going to be people who are helping other people, right? That's really what it comes down to is, I was going to say, and I used to say addicts helping addicts, right? Because we're addicts, but it's not. It's not. It's humans helping one another because we're humans. It's a little channel full of people that have never met each other who just talk in a comment section, who have an opportunity, honestly, to affect a change in the lives of people this Christmas, and they'll be telling the stories about it forever. It honestly will be a ripple. And if you've never seen the show I do on ripples, go back and watch it. I promise you you'll thank me later. But it's like throwing a rock into a middle of a pond, and those ripples start going out, and you don't know how far those ripples are going to go, people. But I'll make you a damn promise right now. There are people on this boat that are suffering in silence. There are people on this boat that are hurting, and they're not talking about it. They're hurting, and they're suffering, and they're doing it in silence. And that's not going to happen. I do mean January and not November, like he said, people. I meant January. On January the 2nd. It starts in November and it gets bad until about January the 2nd. And January 2nd, everything just sort of changed. I can't begin to tell you how much every day I'm more impressed with the people on this boat. Christy Caldwell says, I believe saying a person's name who is no longer with us keeps their memories alive. Here's to my dad, Roger. I miss him every day. Well, to your dad, Roger. And I'm going to end this so that I can do my schnoz. People, we will be right here answering questions on Night Yard. We'll be here at about 5 minutes after the top of the hour. It's only about a quick 5 or 10 minute turnaround. You can literally step off of this and go to the next one, right? You can step off of this and go directly to the next one. It's already waiting for you. Thank you, Quiet Girl. It's my honor, I assure you. It is my honor. Charlie Mullins, I love you, my brother. Thank you for all that you do. Hello, Linda. Linda, I will be back. Just leave here, people, and go over to after you see the cat. Leave here. And you can step right over to the Lifeboat Night Yard. It's going to be me and Russ. We'll be there, fired up and ready to go in about 7 or 8 minutes. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. This is a cat in a basket, and you're going to get a lot of it. I think that's the 3rd dose today. See what she's doing with her little head tucked down in there? Oh, look at that. What a cute cat. I put her to sleep. All right, people. I'll meet you on the other one shortly. Russ. See you shortly, Wood. God bless.